Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V-Series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, and folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This is hopefully a little bit of a redemption video. We'll see how it goes. I don't know yet, but we'll get into it. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, why wear super cool shirts? I like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom! It's the Not My God shirt. One of two. This is actually kind of the lesser of the two. It's not a bad shirt. It's okay. But, excuse me. Literally what ended up happening was when I went to the merch table, because I got to see these folks perform live. They're a band, by the way. I'll get to that. But I went to the merch table, and I asked the merch girl, and I was like, "Merch girl, do you have that shirt in XX? Because that's the size that I wear." And she was like, "Which one?" And I was like, "The one on the far right." And the thing was, they had one shirt here and one shirt here. One on top, one on bottom. Typically, when you go to merch booths, that means one is the front side, one is the back side. I thought this was the back side to the actual shirt I wanted. So she went over there and she's like, "We sure do." And she brings it over and like she had to hunt for it because it was like under all the other shirts and everything. And by the time I kind of realized the error, I was like, oh. I made her go through a lot to get this. I mean, not a lot, but you know, a certain amount of hassle. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. So, and then I ended up later on just going and buying the other one, so I got two. But anyway, yeah, Not My God, they're an electronic industrial duo made up of Mr. Tim Skold, Mr. Nero Bellum. They've worked together on all kinds of projects, their own separate stuff. I've actually seen Tim Skold. This is the second time that I've seen him this year. I saw him in this incarnation. I also saw him in his solo project incarnation. I have a whole bunch of videos of both of those performances, just in case you're interested. I really like their stuff. But anyway, what am I trying for you folks? Why is it a redemption video? Well, folks, I just got through reviewing some orange craft soda from Northern Soda Company from Minnesota. And go watch that review. But, you know, without going into all the stuff, I wasn't as impressed as I would have liked to be. But they have a second opportunity because, folks, we're reviewing. Boom! It is It is also from Northern Soda Company from Minnesota. This is their Blue Raspberry Craft Soda. Okay. I will say this, going into the orange soda, I have certain expectations for an orange soda. Not so much with blue raspberry. I have had other blue raspberry sodas, but not nearly enough to go into it being like, okay, this is what I expect. Let's see what Minnesota's got on this one. Again, not much of a scent. But there is, like, you can smell the blue raspberry aspect. All right. It's okay. I'll say this right out. I like it better than the orange soda. Again, I think part of that, though, is just because less expectations versus the orange soda. With the orange soda, I wanted certain things. I didn't get all of them. With this, less so, but... So, one thing I am noticing with the Northern Soda stuff, they feel a little bit muted. Like, they just don't have that punch, man, you know? And, to be fair, obviously, different palates are going to differ in what they want, but, I mean, you think orange soda, you think even, blue raspberry, you think some punchy flavor. Neither of these have it. Now, I will say it's not bad flavor. actually one of the better aspects of this is kind of the smooth flavor that it does have. And it is unmistakably sort of a blue raspberry flavor. So it has that going for it. But if I did have any expectations coming into a blue raspberry soda, I would have expected more of a zing, for one. Like, blue raspberry, raspberry has some tartness to it. It should give you a little extra oomph. Don't feel like I'm getting that from this. It really is not. There's no tartness to it. There's no zing. So that kind of works against it for me. And again, it's just, I want more. Like, it's a good flavor, but I want more of it, and I want there to be more complexity to it. But it seems like with Northern, they've got, like, the cans are fancy and everything. Like, they're clearly putting effort into this. I don't feel like they're making a cheap product. I just think that this is an instance where they're not making a product that works for me personally. And the thing is like, going off my fairly limited experience when it comes to, like, craft beer and stuff, when you have stuff like that, it's like, it can be this really cool idea, like, okay, it's craft, it's small batch, it's this, that, and the other thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be all that great, or that it's going to play to your specific wants, And there is something to be said for the reason why, like, the big beer companies, the big soda companies, why they have the market share that they do versus, like, the smaller stuff. Because they're more niche in what they're trying to present. I kind of feel like that's what's going on with Northern Soda Company. I don't think they're bad sodas, but I just feel like they're just a bit niche. Like, they are definitely catering to very specific soda tastes, and those soda tastes are not mine. I want punchier soda. I want, something that's really gonna make it stick in my head, and really make me go, okay, I really like this. With this, it's a good soda. It drinks really well. The cane sugar aspect definitely makes a difference. But it's just, I need more for me. That's kind of how I take it. It's just very okay for me, And maybe that is just because I am so used to the more conventional soda types, the stuff that you're going to get at any gas station or supermarket or anything. Maybe I am just too used to those punchy flavors, trying to go down to this. But on a positive note, there's no, like, weird aftertaste or anything like that. It doesn't have, like, a chemically taste or anything. Again, I don't think it's a bad soda. I just don't think it's for me. Now, all that said, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Sadly, no, and no. It's, again, for me, especially, no. Folks, in my life, I've had more soda than any person ever should have, okay? I grew up on the stuff, drinking it as a kid. It wasn't really until I got, into my 20s where I started kind of being like, I need to not drink so much soda. And, so I've had artisanal sodas, I've had all kinds of stuff, a lot of it I've reviewed on the show. I wish I could add this to that list, but I just can't. It just doesn't suit me, unfortunately. If I'm recommending it, again, I think there's an audience for it. If you run into it, I would say try it, but if you are expecting that sort of more conventional punchy soda, I just don't think this really does it, And the thing is, even against other, like, smaller batch, more craft kind of sodas, yeah, man, it's just, again, I don't think it's bad. I'm sure the fine folks in Minnesota are excellent at making soda. But, it just doesn't play to my palate. So, anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly, I apologize to the fine folks of Minnesota-tastic rest of your life. I think this is the first time I've ever reviewed anything distinctly from Minnesota, at least where I was like, Minnesota! And, Yeah, I wish I could have been more positive about it. Sorry, Minnesota. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. You're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Even when you're trying not to be. Even when you're reaching, trying to come up with positive things about stuff sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Thing is, folks, we are going to deal with situations in our life that are stressful, frustrating, etc. When we do, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you are from the fine state of Minnesota, and, maybe you're over there and you're watching this review, and maybe you have strong opinions about my opinions about the things. Fair enough. But then I would challenge you, Minnesota. Go over there and be like, hey, you know what? Hit me up in the comments and be like, hey, I am a proud Minnesotan. Maybe you didn't like my particular Minnesotan soda. But, here are some other things that maybe you could look into trying from the fine state of Minnesota. Maybe I could go over there and do, maybe not a full special, but maybe a little bit of a Minnesota special or something like that. I don't know dick all about Minnesota. Minnesota is one of those states where it's like, you kind of forget that they're one of the states. And I don't mean that to be mean or anything like that, but it's like, let's be honest, we have certain states in the United States that kind of stand out a little bit more than some of the other ones. Some of them are a little bit more low-key. That's not a bad thing. But, I would love to give Minnesota a redemption arc as far as this is concerned. But, like I said, sadly, it just wasn't with this one. Anyway, or conversely, hey, maybe you could take a nice vacation to Minnesota and see all of the Minnesota sights. Sorry, Minnesota. Bye.